Hi, did you know that your ILOs, or SILOs, or course ILOs, or whatever, your intended learning outcomes, can drive your subject? They can be the absolute central part of your subject that drive student engagement. But we also know that often they just sit in the background. They're something that we fill in on the form and we just let them go. So what this section is about is having a look at your ILOs and saying, okay, let's develop ILOs that actually make sure that students learn what we want them to learn to the degree that we want them to do that. Because they actually have an influence on our assessment, they have an influence on the activities. Now, if your ILOs don't fulfill the requirements that we're talking about, they're not going to do that. They're just something that's going to sit on the paper and become an administrative problem for you. Okay, so ILOs effectively are goals. What do you want the students to be able to do, to know? You know, what are the things that you want students to kind of be capable of by the end of the semester? Now, I want you to think about your ILOs because there are three, and these aren't the only things, there are some other resources that you'll see below, but there are four really important things that you want to think about when you're having a look at your ILOs. Are they observable? So can you actually see the outcome? So when a student looks at this, can they go, yeah, I can think of some examples of when I'm actually doing that or showing that. So if it's a knowledge-based outcome, it needs to be seen that when we ask a question, they know the answer to it. If it's a skills-based kind of ILO, then we need to be thinking about, okay, can we see them do it? The second one, is it achievable? So remember, putting yourself, think about who your students are. Are these first-year students who have come in with really low ATARs and struggle to string a sentence together? Or are these fifth-year postgrad type students who really should be kind of grappling at this really high level? So make sure they're achievable. Don't have them open-ended. There needs to be a line that you cross that a student can do it after they get to this certain point. Measurable, and this one's really, really important. So unless you can look at a student's skill or knowledge and identify whether they have achieved it in terms of, can you measure it, then it's not a good ILO. So for instance, often we see the terms explore such and such, but how do you know whether a student's achieved that? How do you know, what does it mean to explore it? So I can explore this room by poking my head in for 30 seconds, or I can explore this room by kind of pulling everything apart and finding out about it. So you need to be really specific. It needs to be measurable. I need to know whether I've achieved it or not. And the final one is include a time frame. So obviously within a subject, that's going to be within the semester, so make sure that it includes a time frame. If you design ILOs in this way, they're only useful, they are really, really useful, but they're only useful if you actually use them, okay? So this section of the workbook is about having a think about, do my ILOs provide a good driver for student activity in terms of from week to week and for assessments? Okay, now have a look, you'll see some resources below. You can dig into this a lot deeper. This, workbook and community of practice is really aimed at just getting you to engage and have a conversation around how to develop each of these things. So you can write a PhD on this stuff. So there's always a lot more information. But remember, your ILOs should drive the subject. Everything you choose to do, you should be coming back and going, does it meet the ILO? Does that force students to meet the ILO? Thanks, we'll see you next time.